Top of the morning, everyone, and welcome to Popcorn Culture. As always, I am your one true host, Jazzy J, joined as usual by my brother, the one true co-host, Buzzy Benjamin B. How you doing today, Ben?
Buzzy Benjamin B.
That's what it says.
I like how in our notes it has Benjamin in air quotes. Buzzy Benjamin.
As if that's the nickname.
As if that's the nickname.
It's not like Benjamin Buzzy B.
You know, this is an exciting time. This is an exciting time. The second time
ever, I am the one true host of Popcorn Culture.
I have to tell you that I just spent the past weekend, I took a trip to DC with my brother-in-law, Mike, and we were on the drive back talking about how I've been doing the social media hiatus thing.
Oh, right,
you
yes.
know, kind of taking my time away and everything. And one of the things that he was telling me that he started practicing about the way that he intakes social media is that he just he's decided that he's just going to be happy for everybody and where they are and the success that they've had.
Yeah.
Because we social media certainly invites that
this is I mean, that's a very good disposition to try and just reframe everything by, because I do find this to be a difficult thing sometimes.
It is, yeah. I think that a lot of what social media delivers us is what is supposed to be the new standard for maybe where you should be.
Right.
In life.
It's easy to play just the comparison game.
Exactly.
Oh, look how great you're doing. Oh, that means I'm doing so much worse.
I always compare it to, in my head, whenever you would walk into class before you would take a test and everybody was talking about how much they studied the night before.
Right. And you start asking around.
You start asking around, and regardless of how prepared I feel for the test, if somebody else is oh, I studied for 5 hours yesterday, it's oh man, you studied for 5. Why? Why 5 hours? That feels like too many hours. I only studied for a half hour during study hall last period, and I was feeling pretty good, but now I'm feeling worse. It's like the amount that they studied doesn't impact your test at all.
Right. You still know what you know. It just gives you a feeling of whether or not was this something everyone took really seriously or not? Or what you want to ask, you studied for 30 minutes during study hall, sorta. What do you,
right.
You're what you want to happen is you turn around to ask your friend, hey, did you study for this? And I mean, I thought about studying at lunch, but no.
Right, I know, yeah. Good.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. I'm basically as prepped as anyone could be.
But this is what it comes down to. This is why it's so applicable to comparing your life to others via social media, is that it's they have their test and you have your test. And it's your test is just your life, and the decisions that you're making are your priorities, and they could be way different from somebody else's priorities.
Right.
You could see somebody who has a fantastic train collection, model trains, and it's
man, I'm so far behind on collecting trains.
Exactly.
Right.
Why don't I have more model trains by now? I should have more model trains. Mm-hmm. So instead, anyway, Mike was telling me that he's just I'm just happy for people. It's dude, I'm so proud of how many model trains that they have. And so coming into today, knowing that we were going to record this session and that I was going to have to hand over my hostmanship, there was a part of me that was I could be salty or model trains.
Or you could just be model trains about it.
I could just be model trains about
it.
And so I am in fact very model trains about you and your hostmanship.
Well, thank you so much. And a special thank you to our patron E-Stock, who was the one who went for the stovetop popcorn tier and really tipped the scales in my favor this week.
When we invented those tiers, it was literally one of those things where it's haha, this is funny. No one will ever do this.
It is funny that it is it does command a lot. And I will say that, so interestingly, I think as of now, I'm not officially tied with host neither for a number of times hosting.
Oh man, we need a leaderboard for that.
We need a leaderboard, Ben. What are we on? Episode 132. It's it's real neck and neck down here. It's 2-2. Meanwhile, what's this one? Oh, that's 128 times Ben won.
I mean, it's a race for second place.
It's basically at this point.
Right.
It's not close. I will say, Emily she was very strategic this time around, because last time everyone rallied to give me the one spot. They did it on the final week of the month. So that like after like the episode went live, the month ticked over and they either had to renew the tier or just drop, which they did. But if you just do it at the start of the month, your vote lasts the whole month.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. So it's like it's funny because it's like the control arms are kind of out of our even our own hands. You know, it's like the Patreon gets to determine how and when the month starts and ends.
Right.
And so it's like it does behoove you if it is like the first, second, third of the month. You know, it's like get the real,
get more bang for your buck.
Real bang for your buck.
Yeah, it is. As it stands, possible for me to be hosting again next week now because of how early in the month Emily made the change.
Take that, host neither.
Yeah, take that, host neither. No, I'm just model trains for host neither. You know, they're doing their best.
I'm model trains for host neither as well.
Yeah,
I mean, really, it's just great to see that every once in a while, just a nice little like spell of silence is everybody can use it.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Every now and then host neither, but not too often. Okay.
Right. Yeah. Not too often. We're model trains for you, but like there are limits.
But there are limits. Ben, can I give you a fun fact about Abe Lincoln for which there are no limits?
There truly are no limits.
There are no limits.
Yes, of course. Please lay it on me.
Okay. So we've talked a lot about the things Lincoln did as a living human, which seem like endlessly fascinating. Right. But as ever, in total Lincoln fashion, upon his death, which happened the morning after he got shot in the head, not like seconds after.
Not like that very moment.
Not like that very moment.
Because it's Lincoln.
Because it's Lincoln. He was brain grappling that bullet. Anyway, Lincoln then proceeded post-mortem on a funeral tour.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So I'm not sure if this is like a common thing or not, but like he had like a farewell tour, basically.
Right. Well, I mean,
yeah.
When you're Lincoln.
When you're Lincoln, he had 3 days where he remained in the White House.
Okay.
With his like body and casket. And then his body and casket traveled for 3 weeks on the Lincoln Special Funeral Train from D.C. to Springfield, making many stops along the way so people could come like pay their respects from around the country.
Man, I want the Lincoln Farewell Tour t-shirt.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Where's the Lincoln Farewell Tour t-shirt?
We need like an overly artified Lincoln's Farewell Tour band tee.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like,
I know exactly what
very
you're saying.
Vintagey looking, very beautiful. Like, right. I mean, maybe that'll be like an exclusive merch item at some point.
It feels like it should
Lincoln's Farewell Tour t-shirt.
Oh, man.
And accompanying poster. With tour dates.
That's right. So you don't have to wear it at all times. You can just admire the farewell tour. Yeah, you should have tour dates.
Right, yeah.
It's like starts in D.C., ends in Springfield.
It'd be amazing.
Places along the way. There's probably the actual spots have probably been recorded somewhere.
It feels like that would be known information. So then you get like, it's not only is it like a cool piece of custom merch, but it's also historically accurate.
Exactly.
Like you're like a walking cheat sheet for pub trivia night. If the question happens to be about Lincoln's farewell tour.
There's got to have been an Abe Lincoln trivia night held somewhere before.
Dude, whenever we do trivia on Super Carlin Brothers, we should just start to include one question about.
Yeah, we were doing like one bonus, like name of the win question per quiz for a while there. Yeah. It should just be switched over to like, and now for the bonus question, an Abe Lincoln trivia fun fact.
Nobody will ever see it coming except for the little colonels.
Except for people who listen, yeah. And then maybe some people, they'll be like, wait a second, I only know about fandoms. I don't know about Lincoln. And be like, you got to get on this Lincoln fandom, man. It's crazy.
I know. It's really catching. Yeah. It's catching speed.
It's catching speed like a train on its farewell tour.
Right, yeah. So
you know what would be great, man?
Hey.
I don't know if anyone is, but someone I really hope is recording all of the fun facts we report about Lincoln. Because if they are, then we could call that report the Lincoln Logs.
Yes! The Lincoln Logs!
That was the corny joke for the week. But also, I hope it's really happening.
I do too now. I absolutely do. Yeah, we need the Lincoln Logs.
The official Lincoln Logs.
The Lincoln Logs.
Yeah.
Now I'm imagining how we incorporate Lincoln Logs into our farewell tour T-shirt.
Right. I mean, it's probably just like a log cabin somewhere.
Yeah, probably a log cabin.
Yeah, I am, because that's like the mythos around Lincoln's, that he lived in a log cabin, right?
I believe so.
Right. Like that's why they're called Lincoln Logs, right?
Is that why?
I've always thought that was that because of the way they like interconnect to make like a log cabin style house, like the way the toy works. Like, because you build a cabin out of them, they called them Lincoln Logs because Abe Lincoln lived in a log cabin. That's always been my headcanon for why Lincoln Logs are named Lincoln Logs.
Maybe somebody was inspired by the way that Lincoln took the pieces of the United States and pieced them together and was like, hey, you want to know what we should do with that? Is turn it into a toy where you make a house.
Yeah, that also replicates the kind of house Lincoln lived in.
It's perfect. It's meta.
Exactly. Luke has off-brand Lincoln Logs.
Okay.
And
Washington Logs.
Exactly. Washington Logs. That's what we'll call them. His Washington Logs, you can build a tree house out of them, and it's like, it is cool once you assemble it. But I feel like whilst you could get creative with the logs, like the way you might be able to get creative with like just a box of Legos, like, yeah, they tell you how to assemble them, but if you don't, you can just build stuff.
Sure.
Like, I feel like these Washington Logs really only are that playable with if you are building the exact tree house on the box.
Is it a cherry tree by chance?
I do not. No.
Doesn't,
Are the Washington Logs made out of cherry wood?
Because didn't like Washington like cut down a tree?
That is, yes, also part of the mythos of Washington.
Okay.
Yeah.
Making sure my presidential facts are in order here.
Who knows what kind of crazy facts there are about Washington? They can't top Lincoln.
They certainly can't.
They cannot. They couldn't.
Maybe we should just deviate and start writing like president theories.
Oh, that's it. We're just getting into U.S. history theory. That won't cause any sort of strange misinformation to get passed around at all.
Yeah, no, definitely not. All of a sudden, there's like super compelling videos talking about how Lincoln absolutely owned blimps.
No, yeah. Well, for sure. Sky pirate he was.
Right, yeah.
Anyway, my point about the Washington Logs is that because they only really work together in exactly the way you build the treehouse, then Luke really likes building the treehouse. I have like this weird blueprint in my brain for how, like, I don't even think I need to look at the box anymore. I could just assemble these logs, no problem.
No kidding.
No problem. I could build a log cabin like that, or a Washington cabin, I guess. I don't know.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. In a similar vein, Addie has a book called The ABCs of Kindness that we read on the nightly, and
Nice.
I think that when we went to the beach, something got spilled on the book, so a bunch of the pages got stuck together, and therefore you can't read many of them. So Allie and I were doing the task of trying to recite the ABCs of kindness from our heads.
Oh, like without the missing pages?
Without the missing pages.
Yeah.
And I was so proud of myself because this is normally right up your alley. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that you would have them all memorized, like 100%. Like, I know that this isn't impressive to you, but hopefully you can model trains for me in that I knew all of the letters of the alphabet.
Yeah. What's your favorite letter of kindness?
A is
it J?
No, it's not J.
Oh, man.
Although out of order, I can't tell you what J is.
What?
Now that you
now
tell
you
me
can't
this.
even remember it.
Yeah.
All right, get up to J.
Oh man,
That's only 10 in.
That's true. I do. Yeah. I always remember that you're 10.
Yeah.
Because I think Tyler is T and is T20.
No idea.
Oh man. Okay, but
I didn't get past. I got to 10. I'm like, that's what else would you need to know?
But there's nothing beyond the letter J.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
We peaked. That was peak alphabet at J.
Right. Sure.
Everything after that, just like, I guess we need to make the other sounds too, but whatever.
Why even?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna leave it.
Oh, just on this note, last week at church, it was Vacation Bible School or whatever, and so the way it was structured was that every night there was like 30 minutes of like this dance party thing in the sanctuary. And then you would like break out and do like activities or whatever. But they'd break the entire group up and they would say, if your last name starts with A through I, head downstairs. If it starts with K through Z, head upstairs. And it was like, you guys, I feel like you guys are leaving out the best letter here. No one noticed for like 3 nights that they just skipped the letter J.
No way.
Like, this must not be affecting anyone. Obviously, if your last name starts with the best letter J, then I guess you could just choose your own adventure or something. But yeah, like they did it 3 nights in a row. I was like, someone is really not know the alphabet, whoever's doing the announcements.
That Johnson family is really
yeah,
just like
exactly. J is a common last name letter.
Jones.
Yeah, exactly. Jardashi.
I was gonna say Jerific.
Okay. Anyway, what are the ABC? What is the J of kindness?
The J of kindness. A is for
You can say it out loud, Ben.
No,
We can learn the other letters too.
No, I don't know if I can do it now. I think I put myself on the spot too much, and now I'm embarrassed and afraid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so anyway, I could do it. Trust me on this one.
I'm very model trains of you, Ben.
Thank you.
That
I
sounds
appreciate
like a good
it.
working knowledge. I'm sure Addie is getting kinder every day.
That's the goal. That's the goal. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, Ben. do you have a particular wick of the peak besides the ABCs of kindness?
I'd say, well, actually, so here's just a question. Let me throw out there for you. Is if you are writing a children's book, they tend to credit the author first, because this is like one of those things. Like whenever I'm reading Addie a book, I will always read the author and the illustrator.
Oh, nice.
It's like I'll say like the ABCs of kindness by, and like I'll like read it, which I can't remember now, which doesn't make sense, but because I've said it as many times as I've said anything else. But what blows my mind about it is that like I really feel like the illustrator is like maybe not getting nearly enough credit. Like it feels like when it comes to children's books, there's not a lot of like story going on.
Yeah, it's a lot of like directing your attention towards like colors and shapes and sounds and things.
Sure. Or the amount of poutiness that a specific pout fish made.
The pout fish.
It's so good.
I really like the illustrations in that book because they actually hold to like a lot of continuity.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. There's like a scene like where like the pout fish is like dropping in, and there's like a peanut butter jar, and then like the next page,
the jellyfish.
The jellyfish,
Yeah,
peanut butter and jelly. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. How did you read the pout fish line?
Oh,
because I'm a pout
fish with a pout face, so I spread the dreary wearies all over the place. Oh, what is the sound then? It's like
blub,
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 yeah, blub, blub, blub. That's what I do.
That's pretty fun.
Thank you.
That's pretty fun. I heard our younger brother Tyler, when we were on vacation a few weeks ago, reciting it to his son Finn, and it was the funniest thing in the world to me because I was like, of course everybody reads it with a specific cadence because it says this group of words over and over and over again throughout the book, and it has like a little bit of like a jingliness to it.
Right. Yeah, there is like a rhythm to most kids' books.
Yes, and it occurred to me that I was reading it like way maybe in like a different tone than he was, and I would say yours was closer to his.
Oh, okay.
But mine is because I'm a pout fish with a pout face, so I spread the dreary wearies all over the place.
Oh, that seems like so happy.
I know, yeah. And I don't know. I was like, what?
He's not a pep fish, Ben.
Well, by the end he is.
Well,
spoilers. I'm sorry.
Whoa.
We should go back and include warning in today's episode. There will be spoilers for the pout fish.
Ethan, please do that at the very beginning of this episode.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the children's book. But anyway, so because Alice and I were talking about, we're like, man, maybe we should start writing children's books because like this would be so great. And she's like, well, where do you find an illustrator? And I was like, it really feels like they're doing most of the work. Like most of it entirely.
Yeah, I think that's what's I think you're really at peak children's book when you are the author and illustrator yourself. Like I think and I could be wrong, but I think the Sandra Boynton books are all written and illustrated by Sandra. And those are like a very funny like sense of humor about them. I feel like
they definitely
that's like where the but not the hippopotamus.
But not the hippopotamus.
Oh, do you read that one?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Is that not how you read it?
No. Let's see. How do I read that one? It's like a hog and a frog cavort in the bog, but not the hippopotamus. Yeah, just like that.
Okay.
But then I always get again at the end. It's like, but yes, the hippopotamus, but not the armadillo. And then I always slam the book on the.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, I go, but not the armadillo.
Oh my gosh.
And that now when we get to the end, Nick and Nate will go.
They're getting it all figured out.
They got to figure it out. Luke has gotten to the point now we're going to bed, and he's like, he keeps asking me to like show him like tricks, I guess. But what he means is like the kind of like tricks or faces that you can sort of like make with your body or like sounds you can make with your body.
Okay.
Kind of thing. Like I know you and I can both make like
a fart noise.
like a fart noise with our hands. So like
ready?
Yeah. Oh, yours was so good.
Thanks.
That was with Ben's hands.
Years and years of practice.
Years of practice, man. I thought I was good. I got nothing on that.
This is like one of those things that I think whenever I learned a new noise, I would do it so frequently that I remember in high school I would like walk around and I would just be like making this noise with my hands, and I was like walking in class, like teachers and stuff would look at me and be like, Ben Carlin, and I was like,
what?
no,
No.
Let me clarify.
That was not me. Well, I mean, it was just not the way you think.
Not the way you think. It's much funnier than that.
It's much funnier than that. Watch this.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
But so this could be like anything from like sucking your cheeks in to like make a fish face, to like winking, to going cross-eyed, to snapping, to like also all these little like things you don't think about. They're just like, kids love this stuff.
Can you do the elephant hand thing still?
Oh my gosh.
That would be a good one to teach
Crossing
him.
your fingers.
I feel like when we were kids, we used to do this. So it's basically using your pointer and your ring finger to hold your pinky down over top of your middle finger, and the end result is an almost like elephant looking like type of thing.
Yeah.
But I remember like I could do that in elementary school, and that would be like a trick that I would like show people.
Oh yeah, I'd be like, you guys entering the talent show. Good luck.
It's like I can make an elephant with my hand.
With my hand, okay. So be
Pretty
prepared.
Cool. The other one that I loved learning for a long time is from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. There's a scene where Cameron is like sitting there and he's making like a. Does that sound about right?
It's supposed to sound like water dripping into more water. Yeah, it's like. I always feel like anytime like people would see the movie and then they see you try it, and I feel like they'd always just be like, you're just making the sound with your mouth, and I'd be like, no, but I'm not.
Right. or sort of like, or I sort of am, but like on some level, like that is the point.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I always thought that was a particularly fun one. And then the GMA, I feel like had, I don't even know if I can really do it anymore, but for the longest time we had this like like the flutter whistle, and it was sort of like our way of communicating with one another.
It would be like, let's say the art show was happening in the gymnasium, and like any given class teacher might decide like, yeah, you can go to the gymnasium and walk around the students' art show, and you get in there, and if you could just like. You would like you can't see everyone in the gymnasium at once, but lots of classes in there. So you could just like do the whistle and be like, oh, someone's here.
Someone's here.
Yeah.
Someone else
Signal.
is here.
Yeah. So one of the other four is here.
Yeah. I remember when our good friend John, who's a member of the GMA, was walking across the stage at graduation. I was at like peak flutter whistle capacity. And so as he walked across the stage, I did it. And I remember he was like, hey.
I know that.
I know, that was pretty cool. I was like so excited because growing up, our dad, I don't know if you felt this pressure as we get older, but Dad had like one of those like whistles that you could like hear from like
the horse whistle.
Yeah, it's so loud, but it was so cool because like when we were kids and like we play like basketball or soccer, if we like scored a goal or made a hoop or something, then he would like whistle and you would like know that he was like watching because he had like made the noise.
Yeah,
and I. As I've gotten older, I'm like, I really got to figure out my whistle like ASAP because like the time is coming.
Right.
Like how was Addie gonna know that I was watching?
Right. Yeah. She probably won't.
She will. Yeah. I will learn.
You got to figure out the horse whistle.
This is a priority.
Yeah.
This needs to happen.
It feels like something that it has always felt learnable, and anytime I've even spent even any amount of time on it, I feel like I get nowhere.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. It's funny because it's like of all the noises I've been able to learn, like one of them is like whistling while humming. It's like a hang on. It's like a like
yeah. I don't know if I can still do that one. Mine's not as good.
You sound like a little like lunar alien like.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Like anybody who is listening to you, listener at home, listening to this episode is like, can you turn that off, please? You guys are annoying.
What sounds can you make?
I know.
But so, yeah, it's funny what the things like fall into this category, because anything from like that to just like regular whistling to, snapping.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, it's all like, snapping's hard for kids. It's like.
Oh, I can't even snap left-handed to this day.
Oh, man.
And then the other one that we did growing up that I actually felt like was maybe accidentally not very inappropriate, but like a little bit inappropriate. Like I felt like teachers would often be like, why are you doing that? Is there's this like almost like, I think it's for like chewing tobacco. It's you can like sort of like throw your finger and it will make like a snap noise as it like hits against it. And that's another one like where I would like walk through the hallways in like, elementary school, middle school, high school, and I would just be like, just doing the snap noise. But any of these things, like I've always been able to like learn them pretty quickly. Are you doing like the single hand clap?
Single-handed clap, yeah.
But the horse whistle, I've never been able to do it. And it's like I've even spent time with it, and sometimes like I'll get embarrassed even if like I'm by myself trying, or I've done like the 2 fingers in the mouth thing. Like,
yeah, it's like, can you see me?
I know. It's like I can get, but that's another tricky one though, because if you do like the 2 fingers thing, it's like it also feels like if you're, I don't know, like if you're out at like a sports ball event or something, the last thing in the world I want to do is like put my fingers in my mouth.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's like, it just feels unsanitary, especially if there are like bleachers involved.
Yeah, which there are by almost definition.
Yeah. So that's not acceptable. So I have to be able to do it.
Dad didn't need to put anything in his mouth though, right?
No, he didn't.
He just like does something with his tongue, and it's like really loud.
It's super loud.
You can hear it down at the creek.
Down by the creek.
Yeah.
We did have a creek near our house. Do you remember the time that when we were kids, we were playing at the creek and everybody was jumping across the creek?
I remember this, yes.
And I was still quite small. I was probably like 4, and I like ran. And I mean, to be clear, the creek was maybe like 30 inches across. Like it was not terribly far, but right?
Yeah. Though it was, I mean, the creek itself could not be more of a, like, exactly what you're picturing creek. Like, to say it was even as wide as the table in front of us would be inaccurate.
Right, right. Yeah, it was very small.
Very small creek, but, like, the valley that it had carved over the years was still wide. Like, there was a bridge across the creek.
But still, I mean, it was like a bridge made out of like lumber, like 2x4s or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, but so like you and your friends like all jumped across the creek, and then I went to do it, and I like sort of like landed on the other side, but like with not enough forward momentum, and so I just like sort of like tipped backwards, and just splat
right in the creek. I do remember it because I don't think you could have landed at like a more perfect 45-degree angle that like caused your body to like just stick out of the ground for like what felt like way too long before finally gravity took over. Like you had enough momentum to like maybe go from like 44, 46.
Not quite.
But there was like nothing you possibly could have grabbed onto. Yeah, I do remember the splat.
This was like one of those things that I think growing up felt like a much greater traumatic experience than it really was.
Oh yeah,
like I feel like
you visited that moment many times.
Yes, like I feel like it really, really stuck with me. Like I feel like I was so embarrassed by it. And probably the other problem is that like up until that moment, I had generally blind confidence. Yeah. It was like my first like true failure.
Oh man, you just sent me to like this very specific moment while I was in college at Tech, where me and John had been doing regular GMA stuff. We found some tunnels that went like under the drill field. They were like sewage tunnels, I guess. I don't know. They're like sewers, not sewage.
Sewers. Yeah, not sewage, because sewage is waste.
That's waste. Sorry.
But like storm drains.
Like storm drain. Yes, that's better. Let me rephrase this. Me and John found some storm drains.
Nice. Oh wow, that's not disgusting at all.
No, yeah. I mean, it's still gross. But anyway, there's always these legends at Tech about like the gas tunnels that run underneath and like people going in. It's like it feels like one of the things like lots of people did do, but also like if you got caught doing it, it was like you're out sort of thing.
Okay. Or worse, expelled.
Exactly. So it was like you're definitely not supposed to be down there, but there's always like legend of people doing it. But I never knew anyone who did it. Anyway, John and I found something way better, which was just the storm drain, which is probably not better. I don't know what the gas tunnels look like, but anyway, we're in the storm drain. and we found like an entrance kind of like in downtown Blacksburg, and it goes all the way under the drill field and like came out on like the complete other side of campus. It was pretty long.
I was gonna say, like the drill field is huge.
The drill field is huge. Yes, it is this is a very long tunnel, which was great because we loved long storm tunnels.
Well, I don't know why. This
because John loves them, Ben,
and has contagious enthusiasm. About such
enthusiasm.
Things.
John is so model train. He's so good at model training and stuff.
Oh, it's true.
Yeah,
he's just happy for the tunnels.
He's just happy for the tunnels. He's happy for you to be there. He's proud of you for doing it. He has every confidence in the world that you are going to enjoy it and that you will be good at it. Anyway, and that you will not get left far behind while he is way ahead of you. And now you're just alone in a tunnel under the road. Anyway, no, it is fun. So we're doing the tunnels or whatever, and by the end of it, it sort of stops being like a round tunnel. It turns into like a very wide rectangle tunnel, and there starts being like a lot of water. So I think I'm probably I think we got to like waist deep or so.
Too deep.
Yeah. But you can see the exit.
Okay.
So it wasn't like you're waist deep and in the dark. It was like it's waist deep. I know where I'm going right there. So we get out. And then we have to trek it way back to like my car, which means we have to walk all the way across campus now. And this is like, gross clothing or whatever.
Sure.
And there's this just like sandwich board right out in front of one of like the dining hall things, like saying like what food is available inside today.
No.
And yeah, I was like, I'm like my pants are all like wet, obviously, and I've got boots on because I anticipated some wetness.
Yeah. I mean, hanging out with John, so naturally this is coming.
And so I think John is just like, John Carlin, can you jump over that thing? And this is like, also a very just common activity. Like, can you jump over that?
Yeah. I mean, I think last week we talked about like touching net.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's like the ability for a young lad to be able to jump in the air was almost like a rite of passage.
The enthusiasm that any like 4 to 12-year-old has for how fast they can run or how far or high they can jump never lost any of the four of us. I think that was strong. It's probably still.
I would be willing to bet that if we went to if we went to like a cabin in the woods somewhere, we would jump over something before the end of the trip.
So anyway, I'm like, obviously I can jump over it. And I like in my mind 100% confidence. Like there is no doubt I'm good at jumping over stuff. I've always been good at jumping, and I just go for it. And boy, let me tell you, the wetness in the jeans and the heaviness of the boots really, really cost me about 2 inches. And the very center of my one boot just like hits the exact top of the sandwich board. And I come down on top of it, and like it falls forward, and I fall on my butt just in the middle of this plaza. And it's just one of those like, I'm up, and then no one saw that. No one. Wow, let's walk away. Let's go now.
Let's go. It
was like one of the most, and like miraculously, despite there being a lot of people around, I don't think a single person like said anything, or I didn't hear any laughing. It could be that there was a lot, but I don't know. It was like one of those things. My brain was immediately like, we're gonna forget that ever happened.
And well, this is done. This is done forever.
Yep, that was bad. Okay,
dust it off. Get away.
Yep.
The
sandwich board. Oh,
I'm sorry about that.
It got me.
At least you were. I don't even know if it's better that you were older.
Yeah, I don't think it was worse.
Yeah.
Like, a little kid jumping across a creek, that's fine. Yeah, just, 20-year-old failing to jump over a sandwich board.
Okay, so this is the funny thing, too, is that, like, as a kid, it's like, looking back on it now, it's like, if I were to, like, witness this event happen of me falling into the creek, it would be, like, adorable to me. It would be like, oh, it was so close. Yes. Like, such bravery for trying. Like, I would just think it was, like, adorable across the board. But as a kid, it was, like, literally, like I went home with like failure in my jeans. It's just like, that's it. There's my jumping career right down the drain.
I'll never jump again.
All right.
Until maybe if there's a really sweet basketball hoop with some net on it.
Right, maybe I'll try to jump and touch that. Maybe.
Absolutely. Jeez. Oh man. Okay, that'll bring me to my Wick at the Peak then.
Oh great. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I forgot to ask.
No, that's okay. My Wick at the Peak is just camp. Yeah, so like last week we had more specifically like for like my experience in the past 2 weeks with Luke going to camp.
Okay.
So like I mentioned, we had like Vacation Bible School last week with Luke, and really like the whole family, I guess, goes. We didn't do that when we were kids. I don't know. We didn't go like VBS or anything.
No, I don't think so. But Mom did send us to a bunch of camps when we were kids.
No doubt we went to plenty of camps, but for, I guess what I mean is the nature of going to this is like a full family sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
Like the Nick and Nate, they had like childcare available, and then like me and Beth would just sort of chill with Luke, and it's like very much for the kids. So there's like dancing and activities and stuff you do. But it was interesting because typically like on just like a regular going to church sort of day, Luke is not like super excited about going.
Okay.
You know, I mean, not that he has to like sit up in the sanctuary. He just gets to go play downstairs the whole time anyway.
Oh man.
But it's never like he's like, oh boy, can't wait.
Sure.
Yeah. But like, sure enough, by like the second and third day, he was like excited to go. They whatever they were doing for the kids was like working for him.
Okay.
So that was exciting to see. But then this week he's going to like a cooking camp at the Children's Museum, really just like right down the road.
Yeah,
from us here.
So cool. I'm actually very jealous of this camp. I would go to this camp.
Yeah. It's very cool. I mean, it's at the Children's Museum, so like they do some like food stuff, but it's also just like you just get to play for a long time,
right?
Without like with mild supervision.
The best.
So that's pretty cool. But I remember when we first told him about it, like way back in January, like we were like, oh, there's like cooking camp, and he was like, that sounds so fun. He was like excited about it, and then we like brought it up and like, okay, we signed you up, and like something had happened in his brain. I don't know. He was like immediately like, I don't want to go. I don't want to do it. No. And so it was like, well, we already signed you up, so you're going. Fortunately, this is months away, so hopefully you'll have a change of attitude by then.
You could have spoken up before. You cannot speak up now.
Yeah, no, it's happening. We're going. So then it started on Monday. So on this past like Friday night, I was like, we're going to bed, and I'm like, hey, just so you know, just so you're ready for next week, we're going to start having the cooking camp starting on Monday. And like he immediately remembered all of his negative opinions about this, and we're just like, I don't want to go, no. Like, and it was like terrible because you're like already sort of anticipating the Monday morning where you're like, well, we're going.
It's like,
this is gonna be hard, and it's like there's that strong urge just to be like, all right, what, like, fine, we just won't go. But
sure.
It's like, no, we're going. And this is part of my strategy, though, like give him several days notice, because I feel like if he just woke up and was just like, guess what,
right.
But
which I think is the exact thing that happened when I took the SATs. In high school, I was like, "Hey, get up! You have the SATs today." It's like, "What? That's not cool.
Not cool.
I'm not happy about this.
It is Saturday, first of all.
Right. I have other stuff to do, like not that.
Like literally anything else.
Anyway,
yeah. So it was like this very interesting like time period where he knew he pretty much had to go, and like we just kept we'd like sort of like wait for him to sort of forget about it, and then he'd like he would sort of like ask you questions about like, am I just gonna get to play at Kids Square? Like, are we gonna make food? I was like, yeah, you're gonna like make food. You're gonna get to like eat it. And he'd be like, I get to like eat the food? And I'm like, yeah, you get to eat it. It's like, oh, and you can see him like be interested about that, and he'd be like, will like my friends be there? I want my friends to be there. And I'm like, I don't know who's gonna be there, but I'm sure there'll be other kids you can make friends with there, and you just get to play at Kids Square. And he's like, I just get to play at Kids Square? And you're like, yeah, okay. And he's like, okay. And then like, sure, it was like so funny to like see him like over the course of 3 days just sort of like work through it. It was like he was clearly thinking about it a lot.
Okay.
But like he would sort of keep coming back, and by the time I got to Monday morning, he was just like outright excited to go.
Yes.
It was like this like huge sigh of relief, like, oh my gosh, we got there. And so like I've had to drop him off the last 2 days, and like I've been picking him up at the end of the day too. And it's just like he's coming out with this huge smile on his face, and it's just like it's such like I don't know, like a proud moment, and also just this like I don't know, it's like I'm so happy that it's like it would have been so easy just to say, okay, fine, no, you don't have to do it. Like if you don't want to do it and you're gonna like cry and scream, like then just whatever, it's not worth it to me.
Sure.
But it's like the I don't know, the joy of like facing your fears, kind of.
Yeah.
Like he like was afraid to do it and has done it and now loves it. And it's like ooh, it's like in my heart of hearts, like I feel like I know that's the path. I know that's what will happen. Like it will be fun, but like you just have to do it. And it's like there's no way to convey that, I feel like, up front to someone who really doesn't want to do something.
Sure.
But it was, I don't know. It's just been it's been cool to watch, like him have a fear and like go in and then be so excited about it.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, it's funny because it's such a huge sense of accomplishment that comes from moments like that in life. And it's so odd because the only way to get to the other side of it means you have to overcome doing something that you, at the very least on the front end, thought you didn't want to do.
Right.
And I actually had like an experience like that just over this past weekend where Alice and I went up to, like I said, with my brother-in-law, Mike, to DC to do this like Bridgerton experience where it's from the TV show Bridgerton on Netflix, which is super fun, but also not super child friendly.
It's a little racy.
If
it's a little steamy.
You're looking for things to watch with your fam. But Alice and I have both like really enjoyed watching the seasons, and she really, really, really loves like the music and the style and like the period of time that like all the like clothing and everything comes from. So she had signed us up to go and do it, and I was actually very excited to like put together like my like period piece like outfit.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool. It was like a long jacket.
Oh yeah, I've seen the pictures. It looks good.
It was really cool. It was really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. But when we got there, it was like I immediately found myself in the exact position that you were just discussing, like with the summer camp problem.
Yeah.
Which is this thing where it's like if you do the thing, it's like, I know you're going to like have a great time and by the end of it be like glad you did it. But we need to like get over that hump. And so we walk in and it's like, it's one of these things where you're in like an interactive theater experience. Yeah. So like, there are people there that you can go and interact with and kind of like be a part of like the game if you want to be, or you can just kind of like be withdrawn if you want to be. And just sort of like take it in as like a visual experience, which would just be like seeing like a play or something.
Right.
And so we get there and like one of the things that they like immediately have available is like the queen walks down this like great big red carpet and you can go up and like bow before the queen. And if you do that, then they have like a person on like a microphone who's really, really good, but like makes a comment about like every single person who comes through. So there's like a 15-second window that you have to like walk up and do your bow, and the person will be like, "Oh, I love your shoes," or like whatever. They'll make a comment about something to do with you, and it's all like positive. They're not like making fun of you or anything like that. And so me and Alice and Mike and Sammy are standing there and like we're watching it unfold, and we're like, "Oh my god, like it's so fun, like so cute and everything." And Alice is like, "Go do it." And I was like, "What? No, I'm not doing it." And she's like, "You gotta go do it.
You gotta go do it."
She's like, please, go do it. Go do it. And I was like, I can't do it. Like, I can't do it. Like I don't know why either, because I mean, like literally what you're talking about is like walking 15 steps and leaning forward a little bit.
Yeah. And then
like,
people would see you do that,
I know.
Right. And then they know that you did it.
I know. And I was like, oh man, I had like pure worry in me. And so like we're sitting there and like when they first said it, there was like a huge line of like, I don't know, 40 people who all lined up to do it like immediately. And it's like dwindling down. There's like 3 people left in line. I was just like, well, I'm doing it. And so she walked over and got in line. I was like, all right, well, I'll go with you then. If you're doing it, I'll do it. And then like we did it. And it was like the silliest, funniest thing ever. Just because it was like nothing.
Right.
It's like Alice and I held hands, we walked forward, leaned forward a little bit, and I think that the person was like, I don't know, made a comment about wanting to talk to Alice's date, which I was like, oh, that's me.
That's you.
But anyway, I was like, afterwards, I was like, oh, what a rush.
Whoa.
I was like, what a thrill.
My heart's pounding.
I know. I was so excited after the fact. And I was like, why? It was like afterwards, I was immediately like, why was I so hesitant to do that? I was so, can I do it again?
Yeah.
Like,
I'm getting back in line, guys.
I want to hit the slide one more time, you know?
Right.
But then it was over, and so I couldn't go do it again. But I don't know. It was such a funny thing because I was so like 100% like okay not doing it, and then as soon as I did, and again it was nothing, I was like, oh, this is so fun. I'm so glad I'm here.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe that's similar to what Luxor's going through.
Yeah, probably bowing to the queen.
Bowing to the queen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The same. Yeah.
But no, I mean, and even going back to like childhood, I absolutely remember this being such a big thing whenever summer camp did roll around, which was like I never wanted to go in the first place. But then by the time it was over, I was almost always like, this
is so fun.
This is so great. Like now I'm like part of like camp culture and like, we've got like our own jargon and lingo and and I don't know, which is even like one of those funny things because I just finished reading Ender's Game, I think for, I don't know, probably like the 10th time ever. But between like Ender's Game or Lord of the Flies or Maze Runner, they're like all these books and stories always have these like kids who kind of create like their own unique, quirky,
like the language
ways of speak. Yeah. And like whenever I'm reading it, I'm like, why does the author feel like they need to go to such lengths to incorporate this like kind of wacky way of talking? And as I was just literally like replaying like 4-H camp or soccer camp or cross country camp or something in my head, I was like, we did this.
Yeah.
Like 100% by the time the week was over, it's like we had like started speaking with like our own versions of, like people say like, oh, it's so fleek. And that obviously is now dated, I think, hopefully, maybe. I don't really know anything. But like, that word was also invented at camp,
right?
Of some kind. Like we all had like some way of saying like, that's cool.
Right. Like, oh my gosh. It's like the way language is manipulated, like helps like form a feeling of like community and culture.
Yes.
Like, I'm sure everyone has already quickly adapted the act of like model training somebody for their achievements,
Yeah, absolutely.
But, like, even when we were at the Star Wars thing, the Halcyon, Galactic Star Cruiser, like you'd walk around and they'd be like, what did they say for good morning? Like bright stars or?
Oh yes. Yeah. There is something. I can't remember what it is, but everybody said it.
Yeah, like all the people would say it, and they'd be like, or what was it like? I think if something was like really cool, they'd be like Wampa or something, or like everyone was really into like Gaia, the pop star or whatever.
Right. Yeah, like you got like your own like mini culture where like everybody's now like in on the thing.
Right.
That sense of togetherness.
Exactly. Helps draw in the community.
Right.
But then when you're reading it and you're like Ender's Game and you're like, why aren't they? These are just like weird.
Right.
Like maybe you didn't like. Sometimes it feels more natural than other times.
It's true. But I suppose so much of it depends on like what again, like what made sense to the author, or are they just literally drawing on like their own personal experiences from their own personal camp going?
Oh yeah.
Right. It's like pinprick. Is that what they say in
Ender's Game?
In Ender's Game.
No, I don't know.
Pin something. Anyway.
Yeah.
The worst, the one that I thought was the worst was Maze Runner. There was like some really...
Oh, like string bean or greenie or something? I don't remember what they have. Yeah. All right. Yeah, they're always off-putting sounding.
They are. They always are.
Ben, there's a note here that says, you might finally travel all by yourselves. Oh, man. Where are you going all by your lonesome?
Well, I don't know. But I feel like months and months and months ago on an earlier episode of The Pop, we were having a conversation about how, like, I think you had actually described it as if, like, you would love to travel on your own. Like, the ability to, like, go and just, like, explore a place. And I was like, no way. Like, to me, the entire act of going anywhere is, like, being there with the person so that, like, I am, like forming the memory with like another human being. But like I think I've even described it as like, it's hard for me to even like watch a TV show by myself because it's like, then I don't have anybody to talk to about it. And it's like, the whole reason I'm watching it is so that I have something to talk about with someone else. And so one of the things that I've actually found through cutting down on the social media stuff is that like I actually got my screen report for last week, and my like daily usage on my phone was like 2 hours a day.
Man,
and I was like,
good.
I'm like, I'm getting like real low, which is now it's a game in and of itself. It's almost like getting 10,000 steps a day. It's like, like I can keep lowering this. Like how low can I make my screen time go?
Can you get under an hour?
Right. But the odd thing that has happened as a result, and because it all fits together a little bit, the odd thing that's happened as a result of not being on social media so much is that I'm also not seeing other people share their like thoughts and opinions and ideas so much, which I think is also making me generally talk less. Because it's almost like, I think what's happening is that when you're constantly seeing people express thoughts and ideas, it like, I think that it like encourages me or makes me feel like the need to have a new thought or idea all the time. And that has definitely like been dialed back. So I feel like I've just been like, it's been more common for me to just like be quietly sitting in like a room full of people and just sort of like letting the conversation happen around me instead of like really trying to be like actively engaged with driving the communication with the other people.
Right.
Which I will say has also been a slight hindrance for me coming in to record the pop, because I do feel like I'm like, I have nothing to say this week. Like, no new thoughts.
No new thoughts.
I'm just sitting on all my old thoughts.
I think you'll do okay, because the way you're talking is basically how I just approach the world at all times anyway. And, we've made it 132 episodes in.
There we go.
So we're good.
We got at least 6 more in us.
Yeah, at least. We'll be here. 138. And the movie.
The movie. Could you imagine if somehow 7 weeks from now
there was a popcorn culture movie?
That would be the most shocking.
Popcorn culture, the movie, premiering at the first annual Strawberry Film Festival.
Yeah. At CastleCon.
At CastleCon.
The first annual.
Yeah, exactly. The first annual CastleCon.
Oh, man. A whole bunch of jokes just got crammed into the same sentence there. But
where are you going to travel?
Well, so that's the thing, is that I feel like I need to figure out where to travel first. But I almost do feel like it is this idea of like backtracking and not having so much like external stimulus is definitely like allowing my brain to focus more on like things that like I want to do, like more for me,
right?
And less, because like I've talked a lot about like the whole people pleaser thing or whatever, and so I think when you're constantly being exposed to all of these different like thoughts and opinions and approaches to life, like collecting model trains, for example, it's like it convinces me that I need to be like also collecting model trains in order to keep up. Like that's the very example, right?
Yeah.
And it's almost like, but no, you don't need to. And because I'm not being exposed to it, my brain is not adapting to everyone else. It's just sort of like now reflecting internally a lot more.
Yeah.
Which is great, because then it's kind of like, it would be interesting to like go to a city and be like, I get to go find like any cool place I want to eat.
Right.
There's no external voice that can like be contributing to
right
where that is, or what is acceptable, or what is, spicy, too spicy,
right,
too sushi.
You just walk up, you look at the menu, you just order it, they bring it to you, and then you just enjoy it.
And then you just enjoy it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I the other thing I keep coming back to, I think I talked about this last week, is wanting to do like the Spartan racing thing. So I was like, maybe what I'll do is I'll pair it with a Spartan race event.
Yeah.
Where I'll travel to a city by myself and I'll like go do like fun stuff, and then I'll do the Spartan race the next morning, and then I'll come home.
Yeah. That sounds fun.
Boom bam.
Boom bam. And you've arranged all this with Alice, like she's pro solo travel.
I think she is like in support of me having the opportunity to like do something like this for myself, because she knows I have a hard time doing it.
Yeah.
So
no doubt.
You guys in cahoots. You guys should have a meeting.
Yeah. Probably. Well, we're just talking about Ben.
We have to spend too much time around this person. Anonymous.
That'd be such a mean meeting.
It would be a very mean meeting. I suppose I would imagine it being cathartic for the both of you.
Yeah.
Rather.
Oh man, yeah. Well, maybe when you're off doing your Spartan race, I've been looking at other Spartan races I can do myself. I don't want to intrude on your solo weekend or whatever.
You know what? You can come if you want to.
Oh man, fun. Yeah, it would be. I remember when once upon a time when we went to Disney. It was like the first time I think me and Beth had ever gone to Disney, and we were staying at the Pop Century, and we were supposed to go to Epcot for the day, and Beth just woke up and was super duper sick and just like couldn't do it. And it was just, we were like, I think we both recognized that like there's really nothing we can do for you other than you just got to rest and get better. Like that's just the answer. And it's just like, there's really no reason for me to be here. It's like, I think like no one wanted the situation to be the situation, but it was like, just go without me. And I was like, okay, well, and then it was this very weird situation where I was like, now I'm just at a theme park by myself. Like unexpectedly, it's like, what do I do today now at Epcot by myself.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
and to me that still feels like a challenge.
Yeah.
But maybe it's because Disney, like a park like Disney, does feel like such a togetherness type of thing.
Yeah, sure.
Like it feels like a group activity.
Maybe it's like I wonder if you were like a Orlando native or something, and it was just like you had park passes all the time. It was just like, dude, I got off early from work today, so I'm definitely just heading over to the parks.
Ooh,
you know,
that
right?
does sound great.
Right? And then you wouldn't go with anyone. You'd be off work early, and they'd still be at work. Losers.
Stinks to be them.
Yeah, exactly. I'm over here. Yeah, but it was a very interesting day because they had like certain. This is when they were doing fast passes, so it was like I know I can do my fast passes still. Like that's gonna happen. But there was a lot of time to just like fill with like what am I gonna do? And I remember like it's part of like my game at Disney is like what is the most number of things you can do?
Sure.
Or, like how do I like make sure I'm like maximizing my experience here? So I'm like we were doing a lot of like Frozen videos at the time, and like I went and like me just alone by myself went and stood in line and like took pictures with like Anna and Elsa.
Nice.
Yeah, which was like the whole time I was just like, this is so weird. I'm like, this is like it's gonna be. I think it's probably that same feeling like you probably had like going up to bow to the Queen. It's just like they don't care.
Right.
know?
I mean, yeah, sure. It's like if anything, I bet it's like fun or exciting to see that like there is somebody other than the classic clientele
Right.
who is also like, yeah, I want to do this too.
Yeah, and it was just like, sure enough, I got up there and like the people playing the characters, they're not looking at you like funny or anything. They're just like, oh my gosh, I love your clothes or whatever, and you know they take the photo and then that's it, and then you just move on or whatever.
Nice.
But it was like the whole time I just had this like weird feeling like this is how I'm spending my day right now. I'm standing in line and I'm gonna go meet princesses. So. All right, that's what I'm doing. Okay, yeah.
I guess what I'm doing.
But it was like, you're like having this whole argument. Just like, but this is what I want to do. I do want to go do this right now. This is why I'm doing it. But it's like, but there's no one else here. I don't. It feels weird. Like, am I allowed to just go do this? You know?
That's the thing. That's the thing. Because and I think that I definitely feel absolutely the same way. Like this is like the greatest obstacle that I have had towards just seeking like independent fun. Is that it almost feels like someone's going to be like upset with me for having like done something without them, or even just upsetting like to someone else that I did something by myself.
Right.
And it's like none of that logic tracks at all. Like I would never be upset with somebody for these things, but for some reason I have like convinced myself that this is how it works.
Yeah. I had a lot of good experiences when I was playing Pokemon Go like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where like because I played it like pretty like strongly, like way past the regular like 3-week fizzle out point. I was in on Pokemon Go for like 4 years.
Yeah.
Like all the time I was playing it. And every now and then I would find myself in a situation where like maybe before Luke was born, or maybe sometimes even after he was born, where like him and Beth were just like on like a trip for the weekend.
Sure.
And I would just be like, well, I am just home alone now. And I'd be like, And like, I think one time in particular, it lined up that it was like this Articuno day or something. And you could, you could go, it was going to be like Articuno at like every gym in the game for like 3 hours.
Okay.
Or whatever. And so it was like a good opportunity to catch one. There was really high shiny rate happening for all the people who care. I know. I didn't catch one. Lame. But anyway, I knew that there's like, communities like in like Discord and stuff where people like arrange like, okay, because if you want to do it, you need like a group of people to fight the Pokemon and like take it down. So you can't like go solo catch an Articuno or something.
Sure.
So I remember I like looked it up and I just showed up by myself at like one of these like groups, and like they're all like walking together to like all these different spots because they know where like all the gyms are located near each other. And it's like there's like one little loop in downtown Roanoke where you could hit like 5 or 6 and you can be like walking, and then it's like, okay, that only took like an hour, and now there's 2 hours left and everyone still wants to go. And it's like, I remember I was doing this one time and I ended up just like joining up with people and like riding around in some stranger's minivan for like 2 hours catching Articuno.
You are kidding me.
Nope.
I don't think I knew this story.
No, yeah, it was just like, but like it was not. I was not the only person who was a stranger. Like two of the people knew each other, but then like me and the other person and another person were all just like, we all just found this today. You know, like no, like everyone just met today, like within the last hour, and now we're just doing this together.
Now we're just doing this.
And it's like I couldn't tell you who any of those people are. I haven't seen them since. I couldn't even tell you their names, but it was like I went out by myself and I totally had an adventure.
That is a huge adventure.
I know.
That's like. It's so cool though. It's so cool because I feel like when it comes down to it, it's like everybody wants to be able to just like everybody wants a way to interact with everybody else all the time. And so it's like it's funny because you could look at something like Pokemon Go and sort of like see it just as this sort of like time spending like novelty.
Yeah.
Type of whatever. But it's like when you hear a story like that, it's like, no, it's not though. Like it is. It is more than that, but in like the same thing, people might like feel this way towards like organized sports. It's like, oh my gosh, it's just a game, and it's like, yes, like that's fine, and it is, and like there's like the real world implications from like the winner of a game. It's like it's not really like moving levers or anything like that, but it's like it's this congregation point for. I don't even like it feels like pretentious to call it like the human experience or something like that. But like it sort of is. It's like it's almost like Pokemon Go is the point of it all.
Right.
You know, and not use whatever Pokemon Go is your thing. But like I don't know, that's really interesting to me.
Right, yeah. You're just like being enthusiastic about a thing.
It's like very inspiring to me. Just to think about like people coming together to do things. That makes me happy.
That was just like one experience like that with like Pokemon Go. Like that had a few times where it would be like that where sometimes you would get like a pass and it would be like this pass will activate at this Pokestop on this like date and time.
Okay.
For like this amount of time. And it was like I think whoops. Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Our camera battery died because I don't know why, but it did. So we had to restart. I believe I was in the middle of telling you about a Pokemon Go adventure I went on where they were distributing passes and then they told you to show up at a certain place at a certain time.
Yeah. And it was a real thing.
It was like a real thing. You'd have like a pass and there'd be like a extra rare Pokemon that would appear like at a specific time. I think it was like normally like Mewtwo or some sort of like mythic Pokemon that was like, this was the only way to get it. So it was like, okay, I guess I'll go. And you show up and it would like never cease to amaze me that like you think like this is a game I mostly play by myself and I guess I want this Pokemon, so I'm going to go to the place and there'd be like 20 or 30 people there.
It's like you're not as alone as you think.
Exactly. You're not as alone as you think at all. So I don't know, lots of crazy adventures playing Pokemon Go. Ben, could I read you some numbers?
Oh, always.
Okay. Well, I just had some good numbers I wanted to read to you today. They are 2, 16, 42, 32, 40, 6, 30, 26, 10, 38, and of course 198.
Transition. And we're back just in time to leave.
Just in time to leave. Wow.
Wow.
What an exit.
It's about that time, chaps?
About that time.
Righto.
That
end of the world viral video from like 2003.
From like E-Bombs World.
Yeah, is like it became like an integral part of like my humor vocabulary.
Yeah. And this is how they came up with the vocabulary of the Maze Runner. They had some viral video that everyone saw 20 years ago, and they're still quoting today.
They're like, it's still funny. It still counts. Still counts. This, I don't know. It's that one, and then the other day I did the 55.
Oh, 55.
I was like counting to Addie while she was in the bathtub, and I was like, Schwan, do and half, and Alice is like, what are you doing?
Like, I've got to 55.
It's like, I was like, you don't know 55? And then I showed it to her, and she did not think it was as funny as me.
This is the thing. It's like the thing about memes and like viral videos like that is that like, especially where they're in such a time capsule, is that like they were such lightning in a bottle that it was as funny as it ever could be when you saw it. And now it's 20 years later, and for you still have that lightning in a bottle, but it's not like you can just like bring someone else into it. You can't hand the bottle out anymore.
I know. I have this problem all the time with it's with this Marcel the Shell with shoes on.
Oh my gosh, Marcel the Shell with shoes on. Oh, one of the best. The one I think me and you quote a lot is like opening monologue from BattleBox Theater,
Dude,
a video game neither of us has ever played.
But like we think it is the funniest video
Oh
on like the entire
It is
interweb.
so funny. Just go look. We'll link to it in the show notes. It's so funny.
There's so many good ones, and now I'm excited because when we hang up this call, it means we get to go and sit down and watch all of them and be like, all of like my like all of the things that have contributed to the person that I am today from a comedic standpoint. It's like that's all. It's all there.
It's all built on these little shelves here and there. They're stacked up, kind of helter skelter.
Helter skelter.
Yep.
What was the other one where like a banana is like. I am a banana.
Oh man, they're like Tom Scott videos or something.
Well, I'm not wearing any pants.
Yeah, they're all like the Lost animations or something. There's something like that. I don't. Right? I do know exactly what you're talking about.
They're so funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, add those to the list. Add them to the list.
Yep.
Anyway, guys, as ever, we appreciate you so much for tuning into this week's episode of The Pop. If you'd like to support us over on Patreon, we have a lot of really cool tiers available. But the thing I would like to tell you about today is our $5 tier, where you get access to After the Final Pop. It's just an extra 15 to 20 minutes of Jay and I talking after each week's recording episode.
That, and I would also draw your attention to our upcoming Q3, I believe.
Well, we're in Q2.
We're in Q2.
Q3's on the way.
Okay, so our Q2 exclusive item, which is
nice.
our custom moleskin notebooks. They are black with a gold popcorn culture stamp and your name on it.
Yeah, also in gold.
Also in gold.
They're really, honestly, just incredibly beautiful. And if you've never had a moleskin notebook before, prepare for your life to be changed.
Oh, you will not go back to other notebooks. They are the best notebooks. I love them.
They are, yeah, but they're also hardbacked. They're the large format moleskin notebook. They have the pocket in the back, and they are lined. I know that like a bunch of people have like reached out about like all the very like specific things about like each moleskin notebook.
You're right. Yeah,
they're
the
oddly
blank pages
different.
you get the dot matrix.
Right.
Yeah, no, they're lined.
They're lined.
Yeah.
Lined notebooks. If a notebook that is not lined for me, pure anarchy. Like
it's just I cannot.
Yeah, it's like what I mean, do I put one word per page or like 1,000? Like I don't even know what size font
am I supposed to draw?
Right.
I remember we were at the Purdue's house when we were
growing up.
We were at the Purdue's,
like our parents' best friends.
The eldest brother was given a leather journal by one of our parents' friends, Carlin.
Okay, yeah.
This was like his birthday present for him, and I immediately remember watching him like start writing in it, and like he wrote in such perfect straight across it was an unlined journal.
Ooh.
Unlined, but he was able to write in like perfect lines across the page, and I was just like, like the anxiety it's giving me thinking about me trying to write, because I know what would happen is that by the time I got to the edge of the page, I'd start to like curve down a little or something.
Oh yeah,
and then it'd be like, I guess just this whole paragraph is just gonna sort of curve down at the end.
Yeah.
Or should I try and like space down a little extra at the front and then go for an actual straight line to the end, and then I'll have just this weird sort of like wave gap that happens on the first slide and looks really ugly, and I'd be like, I should probably just burn the whole thing and start over. So,
where's my burning can?
Yeah, I'm gonna need a new journal.
Yeah.
So
yeah. This reminds me of like elementary school, like where you would say like you'd be like writing a card for like your mom for Mother's Day or whatever, and it'd be like, you'd try to like write in like big block letters, and it'd be like Happy Mothers, and then like you get to like S. And then I would like literally like start writing vertically down the page.
Right,
like,
exactly.
DAY exclamation point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Classic. And I feel like that's one of these things that I feel like is liberating when you're an adult. Like when you're a kid and you have to make the poster board or something like that, it's like you don't have any choice. You can't go back to Kroger and get a second piece of poster board to retry this sign or for whatever project you're doing at school. It's just like, I just messed up and I just have to commit to it. But like as an adult, if I run out of line at the end of a word or something, I just write up the side of the page. No one can stop me.
No.
It's like I'm just gonna look at this. I'm just gonna rebel all over this sheet of paper.
Total freedom.
Anarchy reigns. Boom. Take that.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any feedback on this week's episode, send that over to popcornculturepod@gmail.com. Otherwise, until next time,
pop.